Good day. I'm going to talk a bit about anonymous methods. And anonymous methods and Lambda expressions are ways of doing inline coding in a way that your code will have less overhead and may even look nicer. And Lambda expressions are a way of having your hook in the same place as the definition of what the hook's pointing to. Okay, so up top I've got int I is equal to 0. So the instantiation is where the declaration is, or the initialization. I usually like to use the word initializing for base types and instantiation for objects. And then I've got below that int I2 is equal to 0. Now this doesn't look as nice and might even be more higher maintenance. And so this int I is equal to 0 represents our inline delegate, or pretty much inline delegates, our anonymous methods or Lambda expressions. That everything's just together, and that's what it's all about. So let's go down to this event hook here. So I'm hooking up this method defined down here. This is my body. This is my method within the form1 constructor that I defined, and I'm defining this method using an anonymous method. And you start off by just saying delegate, and then in curly braces, well, not curly braces, round brackets, whatever you want to call them, you define your parameters, and then after that you've got the typical opening and closing curly braces, except you have a semicolon on the end of them, and that will define your anonymous method. Typically, if you're going over 4 lines, you may want to take it out and put it in its own method. It's kind of a rule of thumb when I was reading MSDN. If it's over 4 lines, don't use it in an anonymous or Lambda expression. I don't know about that. I think you can get away with it. In this example here, it's not a very good example because it's built to have the hook and the definition in the same spot. But in our case, the hook is not even present, because if you were to register to a mouse click event or override it, you're not going to have the hook present. It's going to be in the designer view, and if you're overriding it, it's not going to be anywhere. But just imagine that we are actually requiring a hook within the constructor here. And the fun fact, if you were to ever get into iOS monotouch programming, and monotouch would be a C# IDE, and iOS is iPod operating system, and if you ever get into that, you'll notice that you're going to be using delegates and Lambda expressions a lot. And when I was writing apps, like I only wrote some simple, really simple apps, I used them pretty much in every function. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. You use them so much that in monotouch, code hinting for Lambda expressions and anonymous methods are more in depth and helpful. And it's quite ridiculous. It's just the way it's made, I guess. Anyways, that's a bit about anonymous methods and Lambda expressions. As I learn more about their differences and whatnot, I'm going to be making more videos. I just kind of got into them really,